Hello everyone and welcome back to another video of mine. This time I'm back with a new series. I'm starting the Vampire Diaries. I did a poll on my channel and I asked if you guys would want me to react to either the Vampire Diaries or the originals. And I was pleasantly surprised that a lot of people actually wanted me to react to the show, because it doesn't mean just because a series is old, it means that it suddenly turns dull, okay? But since there are so many reactions on it, I was like, maybe it will not be that interesting for my viewers that I react to the show as well. But I was like, why not just ask? I mean, the series is insanely hyped. And of course, I've seen a lot of shorts on it, but I didn't really watch the show myself that much. I think I watched the first and second season, but that's like 5 years ago or so. I have no idea about the plot anymore. I know that I was obsessed with Damon. There are a lot of different opinions. A lot of people also hate Alina, and they hate Matt as well. But I don't know. I can't say much about that myself. I will see. Like, you all know by now, if you have watched many of my videos, you all know I love to analyze. So it will be interesting to see what the story has in store for me to analyze in general. I just remember that Damon is a very complex character and he just likes to slaughter people, just like Klaus. So the originals, I think I only watched season 1, but then I couldn't watch it anymore because it was restricted in Germany. So I would just let it go and then I would lose interest in it. But it's been hyped in shorts so often and on TikTok as well. So I was like, you know what, why not ask? Normally I would go with the poll and the poll would say the originals first. But there was someone that commented that it would make much more sense if I watched the Vampire Diaries and start watching when I arrive at season 4 of the Vampire Diaries, because I would get a bit of the backstory of the originals. So I was like, it would make a lot more sense. So I will start with the Vampire Diaries. And starting season 4 of the Vampire Diaries, I will start with the originals. If you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe. For the full uncut reaction, you can check out my Patreon. The link is in my description box below. And without further ado, let's start. Damn! You see, it's always the nice people that literally try to help the innocent and then they are dead. Eat it, girl. Can you fly? Can you fly? We're fighting with bats now.
I will smile, and it will be believable. I will start fresh. Be someone new.
She's trying to force herself to be okay. Girl, very bad.
Okay.
Don't start.
Y'all, it's just been 3 minutes. And I already have something to say about this. So she lost her parents to a car crash. Now, I'm first gonna talk about her before I go to him. She is trying to force herself to be okay. She literally lost her parents by a car crash. I don't know how long it was ago, but it doesn't matter. Like, every single human being is different. And that also means that their healing time can also be different. Like, if I take, for example, 6 months to get over the fact that my mom died, maybe someone else needs 3 years. So I don't know if the wound is fresh or if she needs more time to accept the fact that her parents died. But no matter what it is, she's trying to force herself to be okay. I don't know, maybe her parents were famous or like well known where she is. So everywhere she goes, she gets those sad looks and they're like, are you okay? I'm sorry for your loss. And maybe the fact that she is still grieving is contributing to the fact that people are like, oh, are you okay? I'm so sorry. And maybe she's had enough. She's like, will you stop doting on me? I'm fine. As in, she had enough of people giving her attention just because the parents died. As in, this is just because, out of courtesy, but you don't truly care about me or what I'm going through. And I've had it with all that fakeness. You're all just fake. You care because my parents died, but after that situation of my life is gone, you will be gone as well. So stop pretending that you care about me. You don't. It's just like out of courtesy that you're asking. And maybe she's one of those women that is like, I want to be strong. I need to be strong. I can't always be weak and like be vulnerable. Like people around me notice and they can take it to their advantage. And I don't want that. I need to be strong, not just for myself, but for my family too. I can't be weak the entire time. I couldn't help but be weak lately because of the fact that I'm hurting too, but I need to be strong now. As in, she's literally forcing herself to be okay, and that's gonna backlash because this seems that she's still in the 5 stages of grief. Right now, it doesn't seem that she's in denial, but in a certain sense she is. I feel like she could make progress if she would just allow the pain to come to the surface and to take the time she needs in order to heal. But she won't allow herself to do that. So it's like she's literally pushing her psychological health at the end, as in at the back of her head, in order not to have to think about it. And that has the negative side effect that she pushes her healing progress at the beginning of the 5 stages of grief, which is denial. I'm fine, I will pretend I'm fine, and sooner or later maybe I will believe it. Because she knows herself she's not fine. So she's trying to pretend that she is right now in order to get people to stop being all, oh, I'm sorry. As in a certain sense, it's the fakeness for her, and it's the fact that she just doesn't want to be looked down on as the one that lost her parents and can't do anything anymore because of the fact that she lost her parents. So she's trying to force herself to be strong, even though she herself knows that she needs time. So it's like she's in a certain sense sabotaging her healing progress. If she would actually just allow herself to feel the pain and go through it, she would probably already be at acceptance. But I have the feeling, considering the way she's speaking, she always in a certain sense tried to fight the fact to let the pain to come to the surface because she was scared of what that could mean for her. As in, if I allow the pain to come to the surface, I won't be capable to subdue it anymore, and it will always find a way to the surface. So she always kind of tried to push the pain she had because of the grieving deep down inside of herself, because she tried to be strong. So she never actually allowed the pain to come out. So this is her trying to push the pain deeper inside because she can feel that it comes out. Why does it come out? Because she never allowed herself to truly heal. So sooner or later, she's gonna explode. One. The other thing, what's wrong with that guy? She just tried to be caring, and he is like, oh, just don't start. Like, bitch. What's wrong with Jeremy? Like, why? But I said it so many times, okay? There are a lot of different people. So maybe the pain is so powerful for him, as in he's a little more weaker-minded than Elena, for example, so he can't really allow himself to think about the fact that his parents are dead. So he's like, you know what, just don't talk about it, because actually talking about it would actually having to admit to himself that his parents are dead. So this is actually him openly being in the state of denial.
Oh my god, how are you? How is she? Is she good?
She's there.
Caroline, I'm right here. Who's this? All I see is back. It's a hot back.
Your records. You're missing immunization records.
Please look again. I'm sure everything you need is there.
Manipulation.
Well, you're right.
Please be hot.
Me too.
The first day of school and you're stoned.
And I was right. Sadly, I was right. Like I said, Elena is more like the person that is like, I need to be strong, and she's a little more psychologically powerful than Jeremy, for example. And since Jeremy is psychologically more weak than Elena, he can't actually accept the fact that the parents are dead, and since the pain is too much for him to handle, he tries to find different ways in order to cope with his pain. And that is by acting out. And apparently this man is stoned. He seems to sell drugs, so that means that this man chose to act out because he doesn't know how to ask for help. And in the situation he is right now, because of the fact that he's still in denial, he doesn't want help either. And that's dangerous combination, because he needs help. He doesn't know how to ask for help, and he's too proud to admit to himself that he needs help. This is like, in a certain sense, I did analysis about that in Only Friends, and I can only use it the exact same way here. Jeremy doesn't know how to deal with the pain after his parents died. I don't know if there's much more to it than that, but that seems to be the main cause of his misery. So, considering that he doesn't know how to deal with the pain, he is acting out by taking drugs, I don't know, maybe even drinking alcohol. And he tries to inflict physical pain onto himself in order to could be capable to endure the psychological pain. And that's bad, that's dangerous, because you're not only harming your physical state, you're also harming your psychological state, because if you have so much pain inside of yourself that you need to act out, it means that the pain is eating on you that heavily, because it's trying to find a way to come to the surface. It's trying to find a way to come out. And normally it comes out due to sadness, as in crying, or through angry outbursts. That's why you lash out. It doesn't mean necessarily that you lash out in a toxic habit, but it can also mean lashing out as in anger issues. And this acting out is because he's trying to subdue the pain that is desperately trying to come to the surface. He's actually trying to fight himself, because he himself wants to heal. But in order for him to heal, he needs to go through the pain. But the pain is too powerful for him to handle. So he tries to push it down by harming his physical state in order to trick his mind. Trick his mind in a certain sense that if my psychological health is that much in pain that I can't see anything else, I try to damage my physical state that heavily that my physical state hurts more than my psychological state. But I've said it so many times already, the physical pain is much more powerful than the physical pain. And it's sad that they haven't realized it yet. The psychological pain is more powerful. It can work for some time, as in a lot of people that don't know how to deal with it anymore, they actually harm themselves and they cut themselves. That's like causing physical pain to themselves in order to kind of dim out, I don't want to say the voices, but you all know, the pain. The pain is like a cry for help. You are crying out for help yourself, but you don't want to admit it to yourself that you are. Considering the fact that you feel the pain, it can come out in anxiety attacks, in panic attacks, in depression. You're trying to harm yourself, as in you're trying to cause yourself physical pain in order to distract yourself from the psychological one. It can help for some time, but the pain will come back even more powerful, considering that sooner or later, the psychological pain will be so powerful that no matter how hard you try to cause yourself physical pain, the physical pain will not be capable to subdue the psychological pain. So I fear for Jeremy more right now than for Elena. But at the end of the day, both of them will explode because they're both trying to subdue the pain.
I am done watching you destroy yourself. It's not this person, so don't be this person.
Bonnie. Everyone's simping over Stefan. Bonnie is a good BFF. She's like, look at this, he watching. Hottie staring at you, I can't.
When someone asks, how are you? They really don't want an answer.
This is the sad reality here. Small thing I need to add here before I can continue. This is so true that it hurts. Sadly, nowadays when people ask, how are you? They just want to hear, I'm fine. Because why? They're asking out of courtesy, but they don't truly care if you're doing fine or not. They just ask out of courtesy. They see that you are not doing fine, so they're like, how are you? And because you don't want to burden people with your problems, or you're like, you know what, it's none of your business, you're like, oh, don't worry, I'm fine. And they did what they thought they needed to do, and you did your part. But no one truly cares if you're in pain or not. They just ask out of courtesy. Nowadays, people are so restricted in their mind, they don't truly want to hear that someone else is in pain. As in, they are trying to paint this perfect world where everything is perfect, where nothing awful can happen, where everything and everyone is happy because they themselves can deal with any more negative news. They don't want to hear that anyone else is in pain anymore because it brings the sad reality back into the picture, the harsh reality that not everything is fine. Not everyone is happy. This life is sad. This life sucks. So everyone has some kind of problem. And if they don't have a problem, they make themselves problems. But everyone is in pain somehow, somewhere. If it's not physical pain that they're experiencing, it's psychological pain. Everyone on this earth has a problem. And if you're like, oh, don't worry, I'm fine, you're lying. It's just you don't want others to know all of your dirty business. You want to uphold that perfect view that you are completely fine because you don't want to add to the already awful world. I have the feeling that sometimes people feel like if they actually acknowledge to themselves that they are in pain, it's like only acknowledging how bad and sad the world is. So they're like, oh, don't worry, I'm fine, even though they're not. This is not a good idea to have. Like, I shouldn't feel ashamed of not being okay. Like, I can accept that I'm not okay. No one is okay on this earth. And I don't see why people have that mentality that they need to pretend that they're okay just in order to protect someone else's view. Like, the people that don't want to hear the truth are the people that can't live in the present. They don't want to see the world for how it truly is. Sad and awful. So they expect everyone in a certain sense to uphold their view, their perfect view of life. That life is perfect, that no one has any problems. If you do say that you have a problem, it's like you're kind of destroying the perfect view that they made out in their mind. So you're a bad person after that. And they get mad at you when you say that you have problems, because it's like you are only confirming what they deep down already know, and they're trying kind of like to push it under the rug. They're trying to ignore that fact that life is horrible. They can't move on from the fact that life is horrible, and it's like they are trying to force people to tell them that life is beautiful, that not everything is hopeless, because they themselves have lost hope. So if you actually say that you are not fine as well, it's like you already just putting on top of the fact that they themselves are feeling awful, you are feeling awful, he is feeling awful, she is feeling awful, as in this entire world is doomed. So it's like these people can't accept life for how it is. So they lash out at the people that are being honest about it. Do not feel ashamed to say that you're not okay. Like, Jesus.
Okay?
It's a fog. It's making me foggy. And then back there was this bird, and it was all very Hitchcock for a second. That is the bird movie right there.
Did you hurt yourself?
Oh. Okay. His name is Stefan Salvatore. We're planning a June wedding. I'm the girl.
Girl.
Have fun.
Sorry,
Sir.
I was about to knock.
This is
I
creepy.
apologize for my...
There were no civilian casualties in this battle.
Actually, there were 27.
He is whipping your ass in shape.
His archives are stored in Civil Hall if you'd like to brush up on your facts. Mr. Tanner.
He whipped your ass in shape by just being intelligent.
My parents' car drove off of a bridge into the lake. I was in the back seat and I survived, but I didn't.
You won't be sad forever, Elena.
Aww. I think that's actually something that she wants to hear. That someone sees that she's in pain, but they don't exaggerate on it. Uh-oh. Yum. Oh well.
I still believe in us. And I'm not giving up on them.
Yeah, I need to add that. I think what Alina is doing is the worst situation right now. Because if you, as a friend, first off, you don't owe it to your friend to try if you can be something more. Like a boy and a girl can be just friends, first of all. No, second of all. There are different types of love. And I said that so many times already in so many of my videos. There's different kind of love. There's friendship love. There's romantic love. There's family love. There are different kind of love. And all of those different kind of love can be viewed in any kind of person. That's why I literally believe in any kind of love. As in love between a woman and a man. Love between a woman and a woman. Love between a man and a man. Trans, bisexual, everything. I believe in any kind of love. Now the problem here is when you try as close friends, you need to be ready to accept if it doesn't work out. Because this is like a friendship kind of love, or in a certain sense as family kind of love. You love each other like family. In my eyes, family is the most powerful love if a stranger is capable to turn into your friend, then into your best friend, and then into family. That's the most powerful love there is. So you, seeing him or seeing her as your family, it will never be romantic love. It will never be romantic love. Because as family, you've moved past the fact of romantic affection. You see each other as family, as someone that you cannot live without. No matter how hard you try, you will never be capable to distance yourself from them. Because there is this powerful love uniting you two. And I think that's the exact love that Elena has for Matt. She sees him as family, as a close friend. But there is nothing romantic there. Him on the other side, I don't think he sees her as family at all. In my eyes, I have the feeling that, it can be possible that I'm wrong. I have the feeling that he always had like a crush on her, but they always kept it like friendship. And then when the time came and Elena was like, let's try it, they tried to be together, but Elena realized there is no romantic love there. I love you as family, and that's why I can't be without you, and I need you in my life. But he didn't see it as family. He sees her as romantic love. But real love is not real love unless it is returned. So maybe Elena wasn't meant for Matt. Matt was meant for someone else. And it will take time for him to actually accept that and actually see that he doesn't need to fight for affection. If love is real and love was meant to be, then it will be from both sides. So even though it will hurt, and you will ask yourself, when is the time where I will find the one that is there for me? When will I find the one that loves me unconditionally? That person will come. If there's one thing that you all should know, that's something that I actually want to give out to every single one of you. You do not have to fight for affection. You are all just perfect the way you are. Everyone has flaws, and everyone has good things about themselves. And these flaws and these things that you are capable of, as in your talents, are the ones that make you stand out in a crowd. They make you you. They make you special. And that makes you automatically one of a kind. You as a one of a kind do not have to try to be someone else. You are one of a kind. Why the hell would you try to change that about yourself? You're special the way you are. There is no reason for you having to change yourself. You are perfect the way you are. And if the person in front of you, or the one you're in love with, doesn't see it, then they're not meant for you. And I know it will hurt, and I know it will take time for you all then to move on, because you yourself did fall in love with them. But this will be a moment that will pass, and you will then be confronted with someone that will change your life for the better. And they will be the person that will give you the love that you need and the love that you deserve. Maybe Elena, I don't want to say she used him, but maybe she always felt kind of miserable and lonely. And because she's so close to Matt, maybe she thought that being with him could actually kind of help her find like that stable foot in her life. But when she realized that there is no romantic attachment there, that she sees him as family, she was like, I can't pretend anymore. And she was like, I need to break up with you. But she doesn't really clearly tell him that it's completely over, because he's literally saying the entire time, I don't give up on you. And she literally cannot say, you need to move on, because she doesn't want to hurt him. But the more she actually leads him on, the more she doesn't clearly tell him that it's over, the more he's gonna be in that state where he's like, I'm waiting. And as soon as he disappoints you, or they disappoint you, I will be there to be the last resort. He shouldn't have to be the last resort. He will find someone that will love him just like that immediately.
She's losing a lot of blood.
Sir, not suspicious at all that you just leave.
Someone else was attacked tonight, Zach, and it wasn't me.
Then it was Damon. But
Hello, brother.
I can't.
You know, you left that girl alive tonight. It's very clumsy of you.
That could be a problem for you.
You know, when your sibling just knows every single damn thing about you, I hate it. Like, it's like they sniff you out. You try your best to not let them in on how you're feeling or what your plan is, and they just know. I hate it.
Let's just go straight for Elena.
Excuse me? I suck. Hold up. I need to profile. Hold up. If we're looking down there, we see Stefan and the crow in front of me. What is this? Can vampires turn into crows? What? I always assume bats, but crows? No. Stop it. Don't do this to me. This is too much. That's too much.
After all of these years, can't we just give it a rest?
I promised you an eternity of misery, so I'm just keeping my word.
Goodbye,
You should know
innocence.
better than to think you're stronger than me. You lost that fight when you stopped feeding on people.
It's actually Damon doing all the damage, and Stefan is trying to restrain himself from becoming like his brother.
I try so hard, and I'm never the one.
We're tackling insecurities here. We're tackling insecurities here. Caroline is very insecure of herself, so she's actually always trying to do much more than she should. Why am I saying more than she should? Because she is trying so hard in order to get the man that she is into at the moment that she's actually doing more damage than good. My point here is she shouldn't have to try so hard in order to get the attention, okay? She doesn't have to fight for attention. If it's the right man, he will give her the attention that she deserves. She has the feeling that she needs to fight for attention because all the guys that she wants always seem to choose someone else before her. So she has this insane insecurity. And I'm not going to say lower your standards, because she seems to be someone that just wants someone. She wants someone that gives her the time of day. And that's sad. Like, she just wants someone to pick her for once. And to be quite honest, this is like a kind of insecurity that I can identify myself with. I felt like this for a while myself. Like, why, no matter how hard I try, it's always someone else that is better than me. No matter how hard I try, I will always be trapped in the situation where I'm wondering if I'm good enough. And the right answer here is to this insecurity and to the struggle. You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to try so hard. If the person is right and is meant to be in your life, then they will remain in your life and you don't have to do anything in order to keep them there. If they aren't meant to be there, then they will disappear no matter how hard you try to keep them there. because they're not meant there. And to be quite honest with you, why would you want to have someone in your life that doesn't appreciate you nor the energy you give out? This is something that I learned recently, actually. You will meet many different people, and many different people will be in your life. Maybe for a short period of time, maybe in order to help you deal with a specific kind of problem before they themselves leave you as well, contributing to another trauma perhaps that you have. And there are people that are meant to be in your life for a lifetime. Like there are people, in order to protect themselves, they push people away. No matter how hard you try to push that person away, they will always come back. They will never leave you. So no matter how hard you try, no matter how awful you're behaving towards them or in general to yourself, they will always be there for you. You won't be capable to get rid of them. These are the people that are meant to be in your life forever. People that leave the second that they see a small glimpse of negativity from you, as in a pain from your past or a small bit of trauma that every single human being has, and that it's too much for them and they're like, I need to leave because you're not good enough for me, then they're not meant to be in your life. And if there's another thing that I can give out to all of you, do not think that when people say you're not good enough for me, that you are not good enough or that you're bad for me. It's them, okay? It's them. They pretend that it's you because you are sure of yourself. I'm gonna have to put this out there because this was so ridiculous back in the day. I was in school and I had this friend group. We were 6. And in the beginning it was okay. But like, we were together like 2 years. In the first year it was kind of okay. But in the second year, after the holidays, everything changed. And we had a group chat. And I left that group chat because no matter how much I wrote, no one would answer to it. Or in general, they would make me feel neglected. They would send pictures in, them taking pictures of each other, but I would never be part of those pictures. And when I left the group chat and the group in person, and I was like, you know what, screw you. I'm gonna be by myself because better alone than in a horrible company. Every one of you making me question if I'm good enough. Like, these are the toxic friends that I'm talking about. They started to write in the group chat like that was someone that, I can't call her a bystander, but she was someone that would go with the opinion of the person that had the most power. And since I was powerful or strong enough to leave that toxic group behind, she kind of still wanted me to be in her life, but she couldn't let go of them. So she kind of tried to cling onto me as her friend, but she would always defend that friend group. And she would be like, you know, you have to accept, or like, don't be mad at them if they don't talk to you anymore, or don't be mad at them if they think that you are bad for them. And I'm like, girl, I have every right to be mad at them. Because of the fact that I did nothing wrong, I have every right to be mad and offended if someone says I'm a bad influence. But that was not the thing that pissed me off the most. The thing that pissed me off the most is that after I left the group chat the second time, I was put back into it. I voiced my concerns and I was like, I left the group chat because I felt like you didn't want me to be there anymore. So why would I stay? Then they put me back in it and the same problem continued, and I was like, you know what? Literally 2 days after they put me in the group chat again, I left again. She, considering that she wanted me still in her life, yet she didn't want to let go of them, she was the one that kind of spilling what they were talking about in the group chat. And they were talking about me as a pick-me girl. And I was like, excuse me. First of all, I never heard that term before in my entire life, so I literally looked that word up. And after I looked it up, I was completely speechless and I actually started to laugh. Because of the fact I literally was alone the entire time. I would only like participate in class projects in school, as in trying to get a good oral grade. And I wouldn't even talk to boys in the first place. And I wouldn't talk to anyone anymore because these 5 girls were like the only people I talked to. And after that, I literally left them all alone. I was alone by myself. And the fact that they be considering me as a pick-me girl, I literally started laughing. And I was like, you are all ridiculous. You're calling me a pick-me girl? And she was like, yeah, that's a word that fell. And I was like, no. Is it possible that you guys are envious of me? Is it possible that you're jealous of me? Because of the fact you don't just drop an insult. You don't just drop an insult. So that means that there must have been a lot of more history in that conversation for you guys to be in order to come to the point where you can insult me as a pick-me girl. So, my question would have been, what was the conversation about before that term fell? She was silent. She didn't answer anymore about that. And I was like, girl, I'm sorry. But considering the fact that you're trying to dance for two gods, I'm not going to be part of this. You're either gonna be faithful to one friend group, but lose me, or you're gonna be faithful to me, and you're gonna leave the friend group. Because, in a certain sense, you're trying to tell me I need to accept that they think that I'm toxic, that I'm not a good person to be around, but I should still be around them because she wanted me around. But she didn't want to leave that friend group behind, so she was like, yeah, in a certain sense, make peace with them so that I can have both of you, as in the friend group and you. No. They would be insulting me. You are telling me they're insulting me, and you're like, oh, don't take it too hard and forgive them for thinking that you're toxic. No. What is up here with you that's wrong? And these are like these insecurities in general from every single person. I literally started laughing because I thought the situation was ridiculous. She, over here, thinks that she's not good enough and that she needs to try so hard in order to get the appreciation she deserves. The problem here isn't the solution. She doesn't need to try. She's good enough the way she is. And it will take time for her to actually realize that.
I needed to know that you were okay.
Months, that's all anyone's wondered about me.
What do you tell them?
But I'll be fine.
Do you ever mean it?
I love him. Well, don't you all break my heart. I like this. Now I'm gonna try to give my opinion about each character presented. I like Jenna. She has like a good mindset, but she seems a little bit overwhelmed with the responsibilities of taking care of Alina and Jeremy. Now coming to Alina, I think she's actually a very adorable girl. She seems to have a fighter spirit, and I appreciate that a lot. And she just wants to make people around her feel welcome. As in, she tries to please people too much. And the problem is that you won't be capable to please every single human being. And that's something that she will need to learn. And I think that will also mean for her that she needs to be a little more straightforward. She's trying to beat around the bush, especially when it comes to Matt, for example. She needs to be clear. And she doesn't want that because she's afraid she's gonna hurt him. And that's gonna be something that she needs to learn. Now coming to Stefan. Stefan is very adorable. I actually was wondering if he was the one behind the attacks, but we could actually see it. It was Damon. And he's the one that feeds on human blood, while Stefan completely abandoned the will to want to feed on human blood. Maybe he thinks that he's capable to control his bloodthirst if he stops drinking human blood. But I have the feeling that this is exactly like a psychological pain. If I want something and I try to deny my body of that exact desire, sooner or later I'm gonna combust. So that's like a different kind of explosion that Stefan will have, I feel. Now, coming to his personality, he is a very warm and caring guy. I think he's sometimes acting a little creepy, but I think maybe he has been hiding the entire time in the shadows, not trying to be too much in contact with human beings because of the fact that he doesn't age. I mean, he's a vampire, and in order not to be discovered. So maybe he doesn't really know how to behave properly around human beings yet. And maybe it will become better, as in he should try not to be that mysterious because it can come off as creepy. Damon, he's the one that actually is slaughtering all these humans, and no. Like, this man needs to be dealt with. I'm not saying stake him yet, but I'm saying that this man needs to stop. Like, there are blood bags for a reason. Go to blood banks instead of ripping humans' head off. Like, no. But it seems like this man doesn't really have humanity. Or it's more like that he doesn't show it. He has insane anger inside of him, and he doesn't seem to care if he hurts anyone. He just wants to do whatever the hell he wants, and he expects everyone to be fine with it. And if they're not fine with it, he doesn't care. As in, he literally does not care. There are no humanity traces inside of this man. I can't detect any human emotions inside of this man yet. So this is gonna be interesting. Caroline, she's very insecure and she's trying to completely pretend that she's happy and everything in order, in a certain sense, to attract people, as in she wants people to want her around, and she's trying to pretend someone she's not. She's trying to act all hyper, but in the end of the day, I don't want to say she's depressed. I would call it a slight depression, because she's talking down on herself. And right now, as of the moment, she was head over heels for Stefan, and now after Damon gave her a smile, she was immediately on it. So I don't want to call her easy, but I feel like she wants acceptance and attention so badly that she's willing to give any person that is willing to give her that anything they want. And that's dangerous, because that means that she doesn't respect herself enough. Bonnie, she seems to be a nice girl, okay? She's nice, she seems to be caring, she is thoughtful, and she also tries to be humorful. And it seems that she's also very responsible, because she was like, I know I'm not a medium, I know I can see the future, but I just want to tell you what I feel, and I feel like this is not the end. I feel like this is the beginning. So as in, she wants to warn her friend. So that means that she also looks out for her friends, and that's a good personality trait. Now, Jeremy, this man completely depressed. I already said everything there was to say about him. This man is gonna combust, and the fact that he is causing his physical state so much harm is only gonna contribute to the explosion. That the explosion comes sooner rather than later. I don't know what to do about the situation, but yeah. Let's hope that Damon didn't do Stefan dirty and kind of compelled Vicky to think that Stefan attacked her. But we will see. Tell me in the comments what you think was best. And I will see you in another video. Bye.